Esheum, thank you very much. I know that this panel was supposed to be at 3 p.m. It's just 3 hours later. I think for a start, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody, culture in Nigeria, and more specifically for cinema in Nigeria, and for Yoruba people, I think so. We are here for the first time ever having a museum dedicated exclusively to Yoruba culture, history, and heritage. And also, for the first time, having an epic film that everybody has been proud of its first part. And now we have the second part coming out tomorrow, and we're having a premiere in a museum. That for me is historic. I want to say a very big thank you to Lateef Adedimeji for Moronti Batikoko Peon. And this has been since October, if I'm not mistaken, that we've been having this conversation. And here we are today. And I want to just start by actually asking you, Lateef, what does it really mean, in your own words, what does it really mean to be here at this very moment in time?
It's a thing of joy. A great time to be alive. And a great time that this is happening in my own generation. That what we have always wanted to do is happening. But I've always dreamt that one day I want to do this. It's happening. That it's not even happening in a small way. It's coming out in a big way, which is to uphold our culture, to keep telling our own stories, to keep letting people know that in this part of the world, we are big on culture, we are big on tradition. We have got our own heroes as well that we must celebrate. Why do we embrace other people's culture and forget ours? So this has always been a major thing that I want to do, and I'm glad that it's happening right now.
Thank you very much. I'm going to talk to my own big sister, Vivi Bakari. You are a very, very well-renowned publisher. And I mean, since I've ever known you, this is what I've known you for. Meaning you are into storytelling. You are into storytelling in a big way, as an entrepreneur, also as a custodian, and also as a curator. So you have been very much engaged in how do we move stories, how do we move it around. Because today we are having a movie premiere. But one thing I've always understood about creatives is that whether we are in movie, in music, in literature, in dance, in architecture, in fashion, all of us, whether we know it or not, we are actually engaged in the technology of storytelling. How are you seeing, the possible interaction, between all the different media that we all use? Where are we currently, and where can we go, at least especially from this moment?
Thank you so much. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
I think it's a really exciting moment to be Black, to be African, and to be Yoruba. Because I just want to start for us to be at the Museum of Yoruba Culture and History, where we know that Yoruba is one of the most studied cultures of Africa in the world. And we have to take that seriously, that the world study us, whether we study ourselves and whether we think what we do is important or whether our history is important. People who are doing mathematics and they look at Yoruba, they look at Ifa, and they look at mathematical elements of Ifa, right? As these are deep philosophical and very deeply scientific stuff, and we have to take it seriously. So I think where we are at this moment in time is that we're seeing a convergence of whether it's the literary culture, whether it's the musical, whether it's theater and cinema that we're here to celebrate tonight. We're seeing all of this convergence, and people across Nigeria and across the Black world are beginning to take that seriously for themselves. We are telling our own stories. But for me, I think it is not enough that we tell our own stories. We have to own the means of telling our story. We can do films, we can do cinemas and all of that stuff. But if we don't own the infrastructure for doing so, somebody else is going to determine whether we can or cannot produce these films. So you may do your film, and so you have to rely on Netflix to do it. If Netflix decides today this film is not in vogue, it's not what we need, then we have nowhere to go. We are back to NTA, and we know all of what that means and stuff. So I think what is crucial is, as we're telling our own stories, we also have to take cognizance of the importance of building the infrastructure, or what I call the infrastructure of the imagination. We have to build the infrastructure alongside telling stories, because telling stories is one thing. The owning the means of production of telling that story, they're two separate things. So we have to be cognizant of that. And I'm very much, as a person, very much interested in curating stories, but also owning the means of production. Those two things is how do we combine them together.
Beautiful. And I think, that was why when I was, mentioning you, saying you're also an interpreter. And I'll come to our brother, Masoyi, who has become a very popular person doing something that many people of our generation don't even think that you can actually become viral doing such thing. And I just want to kind of latch on this idea of owning the platform. I mean, we all see that now you're going to be on DSTV. Before, it was going to be the other way around. And now, it's just amazing how people all by themselves start their own platform, and the mainstream platforms start running after them afterwards. So I want you to just tell us, because when you were being introduced now, they introduced many things. For many people online think you are a content creator. But me, I know that it was a strategy. So can you just tell us something about that strategy and how, now that we have gotten to this point, we are taking not just ownership, but also cognizance of the ways at which we can do this thing that can sound cool, but at the same time, it's completely your life. Please tell us about that experience. And that's all well.
If you go, you go. But I'm a low venue, but you faramon. We are kind of who for to my baba.
Yàrá yìí tábà ti wọ́n náà nǹkan tó máa ń ṣe sẹ́yìn bọ́dí máa gbọ́ Yorùbá.
Ó máa gbọ́ Yorùbá, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Lẹ́yìn Ọlọ́run ni ọba mi ọlọ́pọlọ tí ń fọpọlọ fẹ́ni tó ń fọpọlọ lọ.